we're gonna finally do something. Something I was trying to do before the beginning of the year, but due to some daily maintenance, we had to put it off. So, as you see in the title, we're gonna talk about and install some safety features. We're gonna be working on the body kit car, which is a 99. So naturally it's missing some things. So the first thing we'll do is we'll install this fancy emergency trunk release, which it does not have. From what I can tell so far, that was mandated as like a national law in 02. So everything 02 and newer should have it. From what I'm getting reported so far, 01s have it as well. My 2000, which is what the old body was, and my old daily did not have it. I put a post out to try to figure out year ranges for this stuff. So hopefully by the end of the video, I'll get back to you guys as to maybe a solid year range if you want to do these installs. Yeah, definitely at least 02 plus is gonna have it because it has to. So we'll install that first. That one's gonna be super easy. And then we're gonna move on to, they call it child restraint system, car seat hooks or anchor points or whatever you want to call them, but basically here's what they are. And they bolt under the back seat to give you, I guess, anchor points for car seats. It'll be denoted by those little symbols. That's one right there. Once again, being a 99, it doesn't have it. There's no holes, there's no indentation, really nothing. What we're gonna do is we're gonna use this to try to get landmarks and install them in this guy, almost like factory. Year ranges for that so far, definitely not 99. I'm hearing 2000s did, but again, my old 2000, you know, didn't have it. This 01 did have it. Again, we'll just kind of see. Hopefully by the end of the video, I'll have a bigger list of people responding to kind of give me a picture as to what the heck GM did. Kind of take a quick look in here. If you guys don't know how to remove these seats once you fold them down, there's like little locks, which I can show you here in a second. And you're just gonna push forward and it should release it. There it goes. And it just kind of slides out because it just has a little pin. But yeah, there's the mechanism, just so you guys know. That's all you gotta do to get it out of there. So as you can see, there's nothing. They literally would be sitting right here. I guess I also want to point out that these older years don't have the top hooks. Those are just basically L brackets from what I understand. And there it is. So there should be 3. 1, 2, and 3. So if you want those upper ones too, just looks like a 13 millimeter hex. Obviously you gotta take that top piece off where your speakers are under. Bring that with you because I don't think the 99s have those. However, I do not know if the holes are here. So I will find that out as we tear into all this. I have all the bolts from factory. And what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna drill and tap for it. 8 millimeter by 1 1/4. I also took that because it goes with it. I'll look at all the details as we do this, show you as I take notes off the other car, whatever, and get you whatever you need to successfully install this stuff. First, let's knock out the trunk latch, and then we'll dig into the back seat. So the first part I just want to knock out real quick is changing out this piece. So they do have the pinch things, but they also utilize screws to kind of spread them. So you'll have 4 screws you'll have to take out, and then it'll pop up. The older ones just pop up. In theory, that'll go right in place. Now I'll have to get new clips. That's literally as easy as that part is, and then you would just put your screws back in to tighten that down. Now the reason for that is it's a wider opening. That takes care of that part. Let's go to the latch. So for this, all you need is a 10 millimeter. Now, this part can come off all the other end bodies. For example, I pulled one off an Alero. With the Grand Ams, the keyhole is literally right behind here, which is going to be interesting because this doesn't have a keyhole. You'll literally just have the rod coming out. That's going to, just be sitting there. all we're gonna do is literally just pull this off and put the new one on. With the Aleros and even Malibus / Cutlass, the keyhole is remote in the taillight. So you'll end up having like a cable coming out of here, almost like your hood latch. I opted just to cut it. You should be able to actually pop it out. This doesn't actually change how it functions still, because it still has the notch in there. When you would take this off, you'd have, you know, like I said, you have the rod that goes to your keyhole. It would go right through this one as well. And you unplug for your power. Okay, and it literally just plugs right in, and you reinstall it. Now, before I actually install this, let's go to my car real quick that does have the keyhole, and I'll show you what I mean about the whole rod situation. And here's what I mean when I talk about the rod. So this is literally connected to your key. So when you turn your key, turns that, unlatches. We were taking this, it'd slide right in like the other one. So another little side note for reference, this is an 01, and as you can see, it did not come with it. Okay, so let's go back over there and get this installed. As easy as we took the other one out, just put this one right back in. Not that we expect to be locked in our trunks per se. The biggest reason on this car really is the fact that there's no release. So if the battery happens to go dead, we gotta rely on a electric release, where now we can just reach back and yank her open. Should just. Boop. Now hopefully I remember to plug that in. Here we go. Ta-da! Let's move along to the seat anchors. We've got that side out. Go ahead and release this side. Same thing. Twist it forward. That comes out. But what we're working is really right there. So you can see no holes, no indentations, nothing. We gotta use landmarks out of the ones that do have it and get this bad boy installed in here. While we're thinking about it, let me yank this off, and I'll let you guys know if there's bolt holes under here. All right, and like I suspected, I don't want to bend this up too much, but I'm gonna try to show you guys real quick. No holes. So, but that doesn't mean you can't do the same thing. That does not mean you can't do the same thing we're gonna do with the lower parts. When you pull the bolts out, take it down to your hardware store, figure out what your thread size and pitch is, and just get you a drill and tap. So I'll get that out. Then we gotta start looking at landmarks in the other car. Okay, so I've actually noticed we're gonna do this far side first, simply because we have a template to work off basically. 213s will get this guy off. We'll bolt this one in with the latch that came with it, and that'll put this hole where it needs to fall. And all I'll do is just drill and tap. This side will be a little more tricky because there's really nothing to go off of. Nothing crazy because it's only 2 holes, but it's all about placement. I believe it's something like that. Like I said, we're gonna get landmarks out of the other car to help install that. Let's get that other side knocked out first. For the most part, these things are actually kind of the same. The base plate's a little different, but the shape, the position, everything else is the same. Yeah, these are the same bolts too, so. Ow. There we go. that we got a hole, this back off. Okay. So, even if I took my threading tool, it's very, very thin sheet metal. I don't believe we'd even get a bite. So my guess is kind of how there's probably nuts welded behind here. It's probably gonna be the same thing for that. What we should be able to do. All right, so I didn't have confidence that was even gonna work. What I think we'll do is I'll find nuts that go with this thread, and we'll probably end up lifting the rear end so I can look up under, and we'll see how far that goes through. Because if I need to, I'll just go get longer ones. But otherwise, that's how easy that side is. This side, not so much. It's dark outside right now, so we'll have to pick up tomorrow. You know what I don't like? Snow. Oh well. But maybe it'll use these spot weld points as a reference. Let's go see. Okay, so that's exactly what we're gonna do. All the spot welds are actually in the same spot. But so after the two, we'll go with right there. So we'll make them work there. Now I want to see how far down, which they'll go like 0.7 from the height of that to that little lip. This. So yeah, we're definitely going to pop up underneath and add nuts to the other side. You have 3 nuts here. There should be enough bite underneath the car to be able to just slide those on there. But big picture, it's in. So once the garage warms up, I'll move this forward, get up underneath, and finish this up. Never assume it's going to be easy, because I did, and it's not. So this one's done. We're good here. These outside ones are going to be an issue. Let's crawl into here and take a look real quick, see. That inside one, right there. So where your tank strap is, just above it. So super easy to get to. We even threw some thread locker on it. Okay, so the problem comes with this outside one, which falls inside the frame channel. And it's at an angle that you can't even get, you know, a socket in there to get to it. We could take a look over there, but I'm only gonna assume that the other side's the same way. Yeah, it's like in there too. So this one doesn't even have like an access hole. So I'm gonna go run down to the store and we're gonna go with the alternative route, which is gonna either be, I'll take one of these with me so I get the right size, but it's either gonna be a sheet metal screw, because this is sheet metal, or like a self tapper. Whatever I can get that has really fine thread all the way up to the head of the bolt. That way it's gonna have a good bite. So, shall return. All right, so I did all the work off camera just because it was a lot of trial and error. But here's where we're at. Both sides are in. Everything goes back together so far. Just take apart one side here real quick so I can show you what the top side looks like. Obviously there's one from below, no big deal. What we end up having to do is put the bolt from underneath and do a nut on the top. Same thing, I did thread locker on it. I wasn't able to find anything at the store to satisfy what I wanted to do. So that's why I still went with a bolt nut combo. I did end up getting bolts that have thread all the way to the head. But what that meant is we had to use a little bit of drilling. Really on both sides, it's behind where this brake bracket sits. This one will have, what's there? Oh, that's your, that'll be your factory exhaust hanger. So just take it out of the way, drill the hole to be able to feed. I mean, you'll have to do like a little, like an angle like this, just to get up there to get the bolt in, but totally doable. So I'm gonna put everything back where it's supposed to be. I gotta put the bracket back on the other side as well. Let me do that and we'll wrap this up. Let me actually explain the holes real quick. This is the passenger side. You can see the brake bracket that I put back on. That's about where you gotta go with the hole. Kind of just to the side of where you'll find the existing one for, you know, where that little kind of set piece is. But try to get a good look, but yeah. So that's where that one will go. Back over here, I guess to explain that one is there's gonna be a square hole right next to where you gotta go, where that exhaust bracket is, and then you'll just drill a hole right to the side of it. My best way to kind of explain how to determine where they're gonna go is once you have these holes drilled, just take a long screwdriver and just kind of go down. That'll kind of help determine where. You can even take the hammer and, you know, divot it a little bit so you know when you get underneath you'll see a bulge, and that'll give you an idea where to drill. That's it for this. I'm gonna put that bottom part of the seat back in and just kind of clean this up so we can put it back on the ground. To backtrack a little bit, you don't need to buy a tap set. That original idea kind of went out the window, obviously, so I would just suggest getting bolts. And if we can, it might not work. There's like a flat space where that washer is, so there's no thread. Definitely get a bolt that has thread all the way up to the head of it. Hopefully this helps somebody. I mean, they're in there. Yeah, beyond that, I mean, if you want these guys up here as well, like I said, it's gonna be the same thing. Just grab them from the car that has them, mark where they're gonna sit, drill the holes. Gonna probably be the same thing. There's not gonna be enough metal there to bite, so just do a nut and bolt situation, and that'll get you set. So if you got questions and need any more detail, always let me know. But we're gonna wrap this up, and yeah, as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.